Jesus did a lot of traveling and spent a lot of time with the people of Israel, teaching and healing and leading. Today's story takes place right after he'd fed several thousand people with a few loaves of bread and a couple of fish on the shores of the Sea of Galilee. He'd sent his disciples out to sea in their boat while he dismissed the crowds. And then Jesus went up into the mountains by himself to spend some time in prayer. It's not really part of today's lesson, but I do want you to know that Jesus made a practice of spending a lot of time talking to God. Prayer was important to him, and it should be important to us too. Anyway, about 3:00 in the morning, the disciples were out in the boat, and Jesus came walking to them on the water. Now, I imagine they'd been wondering how Jesus was going to catch up with them, but they had the sense to obey him anyway. They were frightened and thought he was a ghost, but he called to them to reassure them. That must have been a sight to see, Jesus walking on the water. And Peter here demonstrated incredible faith. He asked Jesus for permission to come to him on the water, and Jesus agreed. And Peter, trusting him completely, stepped out of the boat and onto the water. I don't know if I'd have been brave enough to do that. Would you have done that? Well, you know what happened. Peter was fine as long as he kept his eyes on Jesus. And what happened when he got distracted by the wind and the waves and looked elsewhere? Any ideas? Yes. He started sinking. Thankfully, Jesus was there to save him.